All right, we're live. Yoni, hands to you.
Well, hello everyone. It's the Hangout from the Technology Entrepreneurship course from Czech on Novoed. We are very glad to have you all. This is the pitch competition with the 5 most voted startup decks within the course. So this course was amazing in terms of engagement. I think we had like 7 or 8 sessions of the Technology Entrepreneurship as of now since 3 years. But this session was particularly great in terms of engagement, in terms of commitment, in terms of energy of the participants. So
Whoops, I think we've lost Yoni.
Hello?
Yeah, no, I think we've just lost Yoni.
Yeah.
Hey Yoni.
Yeah.
Sorry, we've lost you for a second there.
It's okay?
It's okay. Anyway.
Yes. Yeah, so I was saying that we had to draw a line, but I mean, besides the 5 startups, I was very impressed, and I think Spike 2 and Follow 2 by the quality of a dozen of startup decks. So we really encourage you to continue working on it. And the last point I would like to do is about the diversity of the startup deck. We have some sharing economy startup, we have Internet of Things startup, we have robotics, we have healthcare, we have everything. We have people coming from across the globe, including from emerging countries. So this is really nice to see that. And I really look forward to see what you guys have prepared for us.
Yeah, thank you for the intro, Yoni. Just echoing everything you said. And so for the pitch, for this live pitching, what's going to happen is that we have the 5 most voted teams. We'll start from number 5 all the way up to number 1. Every team gets 5 minutes to pitch, maximum. We will cut you off if you go over 5 minutes, so please just stay within that time. That's what you're going to get if you're going to do any pitching competition, so it's good to practice. And as soon as we're done with that, we will do run the feedbacks for another 10 minutes, and then the next team will start pitching. And so I'll hand it over to you, Shari Club. You were number 5 most voted team, so please take it from here and go with your pitch.
Okay. Hello everybody. On behalf of the team, thank you for the opportunity to pitch our project. We are Sherry Club. My name is Roman Gnatyuk. Dasha Yermolenko is our Chief Marketing Officer, and Danil Sherbakov is our project manager. So idea about sharing of anything came to me when I wanted to go cross country skiing, but couldn't rent them quickly and nearby. So then I thought that some people should have skis at home, but do not use them right now, right? So we can understand which 2 problems should solve our service. First problem of saving time, when people need something urgent for a while. And second, one second, I would like to share the presentation. So, okay, the second problem of saving money, right? When people need some expensive things for a while as well. Our service is a marketplace for lenders and borrowers based on web platform and mobile apps. So how it works? On the one hand, lender lists the item to be lent, describes the item, posts photo, video, specifies when the item is available, and input the price for the certain period of time. On the other hand, borrower looks for needed thing, chooses the nearest place where the thing is available at the lowest price. Also, borrower can rely on feedbacks and user ratings. After the deal is confirmed, Um, the borrower pays by credit card. After deal is closed, lender and borrower give feedbacks and rate each other. So, and now Daria will tell you some words about competition and market valuation.
Hello, everybody.
Do you see presentation? Sorry. No.
Can you see the presentation?
Yeah, I can see
okay.
Okay, then I will continue. So, about the competitors in our market. So, it's important to say that the sharing economy is only developing in Ukraine, so there are no direct competitors on the local market. So we will compete more with existing renting businesses, which are not very popular at the moment. So if compare us with such businesses, so the top of mind advantages are the following. First, it will be easy to find what you want through the user-friendly interface. Second thing is it will be quick to get what you found due to the option search nearby, and of course the affordable price of the products. So we'll go more into the details and think about the future rollouts on the markets where such services like our already existing. We want to make a difference through the excellent customer service. So what do we mean by that? We want to provide any type of customer assistance. I mean, from the price recommendation to arduous settlement between the clients. We want to enhance the safety of our clients, not only by account validation with social networks, but also with obligatory insurance introduction. Also, we plan to engage and reward our clients with loyalty programs, which will be interesting and different. Next, our market size. So the sharing club aim is not only to help people make money with the things that are just sitting around the house. We also really hope that this marketplace will inspire people to discover new hobbies, sports, and experience through the low cost to get started. So we want to cover as much people as possible. We basically took all internet users from 16 to 45. Urban people with average and above average income, and thus we got like 6 million potential audience. About the marketing tools, so our key communication channel will be internet, of course, and we are ready to invest like $5–6 in a potential active client, and so we're targeting to reach about 10,000 clients.
Hi, sorry, you've hit the 5 minutes mark. So I'm gonna stop you right there. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know it happens. Just take it easy. It happens every single time. I've done it a million times when I started this. So it's just cool. This is why we're doing this. You know, if anybody's watching, this is exactly why you practice. Why these kinds of things are really useful. Because you get to practice and you realize that you always go over time, and so you do it once, twice, 10 times, and then you start getting the hang of it. So it's okay. Just don't. No problem, you know, don't fret it. All right, so yeah, if Qball can get ready, and then we'll start with the 10 minutes of feedback now. Paula, would you like to start us off? Do you have any thoughts, any questions for Share Club?
Yeah, okay. Let me start with some feedback. Okay, adding to what Spike was saying, you guys need to go a lot faster and just hit the big points. Hit the big points right in the beginning. Instead of starting with stories, say right away what startup is about, sharing stuff among people. The story is good, but it burns out time. The second point is you want to you don't want to spend too much time on prototype. Show one slide on the prototype. Don't explain too much details. Otherwise, you won't make the time. Okay. Finally, once you have the slideshow, in this case, you put PowerPoint in slideshow mode, so it fills in the whole screen instead of having the little icons on the side, it becomes distraction. You want people to focus on what you are doing and synchronize the slide with what you are saying. It worked well for Daria because Roman was running slides for Daria, but while Roman was running slides for himself, he forgot to advance the slides. So you guys need to practice that. Either get someone else to run slides or practice again and again so it becomes automatic moving from one slide to the next. Okay, two questions. One, technology people. The second one, competitors like eBay. How do you compare with eBay, for instance, going and buying a used product versus sharing?
Okay, first question I will answer. Actually, as of now, we do not have CTO or tech people in the team, but we would like to find such people to join our team. So maybe during part 2 of the course, we will find some tech people. So Daria, could you tell about competitors, answer about competitors?
Mm-hmm. Well, at the moment it's easy to find the answer because really in Ukraine we still don't use eBay if to talk about such monsters like eBay. So it's not a competitor at all. If talk about the future markets, of course, first it will be our benchmark maybe for the quality of providing services. But in the beginning, I think that sometimes like small startups, they work more fast, react fast, they are more cozy for people. And really what I said about the customer service, I think that we can make it more friendly for people. So that will be our benefit in this competitor war. Or maybe if I got your question right.
No, it's okay. The important part is thinking about it, because even if you think that eBay is going to be very different, users, customers are going to once they need something, the first thing they are going to think is not necessarily your startup. So you need to have something compelling that makes your startup come up to their mind right away and prefer to go to you rather than going to any other substitutes. It does not matter how different the purpose is. If they can resolve their problem in a different way, they can. Okay, thank you. Let me pass on to either Spike or Yanni and see what feedback they have.
Yeah, I completely agree with the point raised by Paulo. Also, another advice, I would have liked to see some kind of storyline, you know, the journey of a typical end user using your solution. It's something enticing actually to put yourself in the shoes of a typical end user of the solution. Also, potentially more information about the added value of your concept compared to existing solution. For example, I think you have a rentifying in the US. In France, we have Tipkin or Ilu. So if your main differentiation is because you are doing an application for Ukraine, then try to be more, or try to be more perhaps explicit about it. Also, in your deck, you are doing a lot of broad statements, like yeah, people want to do this, people want to do that, they consume more than they need. Try to substantiate this kind of statement with data. In many good presentations, you know, you have like one person giving one K metric or one figure, one number that really demonstrate the need for your solution. Beside that, I have some questions. For example, you talk about gamification and reward components. So can you delve more into these components?
Well, we didn't think about the details, what we're going to do, but really we thought first of all about the, for example, for more active users to provide the like a year license with a discount, for example, or sellers who will get more 5 stars for their services provided, they will get also discount from us. So first they are rewarded by the clients, and then they got discount from us, and something like that. So people will be interested to provide services and get benefits from that.
A last question, do you have some kind of visibility? What would be the next step for your project? What do you want to do next?
Really, we've got feedback from Paolo, thank you very much, about next steps, and we will try what he recommends. First of all, we should try to find tech people, tech person, and then try to do some landing page without maybe to try to add this landing page, and also we will participate in the part 2. Yes, maybe actually it was my question. What you guys can recommend us for the next steps? For example, without or during this period between part 1 and part 2 of the courses, what should we do so?
Okay, can I jump on that very quickly? And I want to stay on time. I only have sort of a short minute. But in terms of feedback, so 2 things practically that you can do. For the presentation thing, I mentioned this in Slack chat a couple of times. You want to try and practice a format that is called lightning talks. And basically it's auto advances slides. So you don't even control the slides. The slides move for you. So your speaking, your talk needs to be perfectly timed with the slides. If you do that, that's going to force you to be very quick and to be on time. So to me, that's the most useful exercise that you can do as a presenter, as someone pitching. Just auto advance the slides and time your talk. So that was one quick point of feedback to that. The other thing to your question about next steps, which was also my point of feedback, in a pitch, you never ever want to say that you don't have any competition. It's just a huge, gigantic red flag. And especially if you go and talk to an investor and you tell them you have no competition, they're just basically just going to end it right there, most of them. Because even if the user, and here's the thing, even if the user is not using another piece of software, they are doing something today. Like there is something physically they're doing today, even if that's nothing. And I'll finish with this quote that really stuck to me and drove home this point. When the CEO of Evernote, and I think you might be familiar with Evernote, is the note-taking app, cloud note-taking app, right? So he sent his internal memo, and when he pointed to his greatest competitor, he said, "Our #1 competitor is pen and paper." He never mentioned any of the other softwares, any of the other apps. No, pen and paper, because pen and paper is what people default to when they're taking notes. They're just scribbling on Post-its. At that time, especially when Evernote started, they didn't have the habit of pulling out their phones and making notes. So right now you have competition. The competition might be that those people do nothing, or they just go and buy and spend more money to buy something new. So you still have something that people are doing today that you're trying to displace, so they do your thing. That's competition, and so that's your biggest next step. When Paul was saying, your startup has to be at the top of their minds. That has to be their choice. This is what he was talking about. When they have that problem, what's the current habit, and how can you replace that habit with Share Club? So that's your next step. Forget about developers right now. Forget about building anything, landing pages. Just focus on the users. What are the users doing right now? What's their behavior, and how can you change that behavior? That's the most important thing right now to get started. Once you have that, you can add everything else. All right. And thank you very much again for your pitch. Well done. Don't worry about anything. It was great. It's a great first pitch. All right. We got Cubal next. Are you ready?
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Julia. How are you?
That's Tammy.
Oh, Tammy. Okay.
I'm still.
Okay. Tammy, Daria, you ready?
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are. Yeah,
okay.
You're loud and clear.
See me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good. Okay. So I have Julia with me, and hopefully Pablo somewhere will join us. Okay. So thank you for having us. So I was the team leader for Cubal. So Julia, my teammate here, was head of the marketing part of the project. Pablo, who hopefully is going to turn up, had a lot of experience. He works in the healthcare industry, so he handled that side of the project. So I'll begin by introducing Cubal to you. So this is Cubal version 1. We have a version 2, but it's actually at a hospital at the moment, beginning trials. I'll just turn the motors off. So it has touch sensing that activates different sounds, and we have all different games. So what do we use Cubal for? So Cubal is meant for children with autism as a therapy tool. So why Cubal and why use it with autism therapy? So we know those that with autism don't a lot like to interact with other people. Autism literally means selfism. They're in their own world. But we know they're very attracted to mechanical objects. So Cubal can act as a bridge between a therapist, a teacher, and the child that has autism. So it gives them a way to begin to create some therapy, learning, in their programs that they're already doing. So why a ball? Because it creates movement, and we now know scientifically that movement helps cognitive abilities and future learning, and also emotional well-being as well as physical well-being. So the idea is we have games where the device will say, like, touch me when I'm red, and it rolls off and it glows blue and green, and they've got to try and touch it at the right time, and they get a yippee if they do, and a if they don't. So the physical movement is helping their cognitive abilities and their emotional well-being. So I spent years in academic research, developing the device, well, and a lot outside in a company to get patents outside of academic research. I spent tons of times with the end users, the therapists. I knew exactly, I designed the device from their input. So then I got to the kind of company side of things, and that's why I joined the course, is because the business side is extremely challenging. So I picked a team that had marketing, actual people that work in the healthcare industry that purchase these type of devices, and back-end software. Jared is another team member who's actually traveling at the moment. So the idea was that I created a team that had specialisms different to mine that could help me work out what are the channels for getting Cuball into the market. We did a lot of research on the different channels. We spoke to health institutions, therapy centers, schools, parents, neurologists, everybody you can imagine. The whole team really got together and worked on it so that we worked out what were our market segments and how best to approach those. What were the channels to get into those market segments with the device? So that's a simple pitch. I'm not sure how long I spoke for.
4 minutes. You have 50 seconds left if you want to add anything.
Okay, Julia, would you like to add anything on the marketing side?
No, what we did once we'd identified the segments, we then actually tried to build a value proposition to each of those segments directly, looking at the messaging we would use, the benefits that the product brought to them, and also trying to identify any barriers that would hinder them from adoption of this new technology.
Cool. Thank you very much.
So we don't seem, Pablo doesn't seem to be on, but so basically that sums the kind of why I joined the course and how we handled working out how we would get a product that was I'd already tested with a lot of end users, had been developed. We were on our second version.
Yeah, sorry, don't mean to be rude. I'm gonna.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Shall we go ahead with the same set? Paula, do you want to go ahead and start us off?
You guys want me to start again?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. This was the start was pretty good. It was very engaging and very compelling. Now, I have a couple of questions that were not covered during the pitch. The first one is the competition. I don't know if yeah.
Okay, so basically our main competition at the moment is typical autism therapy tools. From everything that they're using, from simple kind of pictogram sets that they use in therapy to software that they use, to educational plans, to other kind of humanoid robotic devices that were designed for other reasons but have then been tried to be adapted to the autism market. So we understand our competition, we understand the benefits. The main benefit Cuball offers over the majority of the other competition is that it encourages movement, and more scientific, cutting-edge scientific evidence is showing that we have to get them moving in a kind of typical, kind of playful way, that it creates connections in our brain's hemispheres that need kind of connecting, because they tend to sit isolated in a corner doing repetitive movements rather than this typical social rough and tumble play that typically developing children engage in.
Yeah, how does it compare with, I don't know if you're familiar with Sphero?
Yeah, okay.
Sphero, so the company, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so Sphero is about this big. It's basically a app gadget. You need a smartphone, and it's more of a kind of gadgety, you play games with it and things like that. We have patented touch technology for the USA in any spherical device. Our patent is literally, it's passed, it's done, it just literally got awarded. So with that touch sensing, that enables us to create games that Sphero just couldn't do. We have a lot of sensors on board that give back data to give to therapists to explain, like, how was the game done? Like, did I see some of this? Can you still hear me?
Yes,
sure.
yes, we can. Yeah, please continue.
Okay. So we get a lot of feedback. The therapist can use in how is the child doing, and a good example is the way it's been designed and the sensors on board and the touch sensing. A hospital in Canada has done a pilot study on diagnosing autism with it, and they're just beginning. That's where Q-Ball, the version 2 is going to. They're just beginning what will be the largest ever trial on diagnosing autism at an early age. And Sphero couldn't, there's just no way you could do anything like that with Sphero.
Okay, two other questions, and then I'll pass on the ball to either Yanni or Spike. Okay, the first one has to do with do you guys need to go through a medical device clearance or something like that? And second one is, could this just be a toy for all kids?
So first of all, we are not going the medical device route because it makes it more complicated in getting licenses, and there's no need for it. They can still use it in hospitals or therapy centers without that. Secondly, yes, it could be a tool for all children, but at the moment it's expensive. So that would come at a later date when we're at really high volumes and the price point comes down.
Cool. So actually, that's if Yanni, if you don't mind, I'll take it from there very quickly, just to shuffle things around a bit. This thing you just mentioned about price point, that was kind of where I was gonna go with my questions. Like, what's right now blocking adoption? So you've done an amazing amount of work in understanding who potential channels are and who potential buyers are. So it's just a matter of going through the process, or is there something stopping you?
No, we initially made 20. Well, I initially attempted to sell 4 devices to the institutions I wanted to sell them to, and I actually sold 19 devices. So there hasn't been much resistance to the price point. It would be better if the price point is lower. So that will just come with volume. It will come down with volume. But it's a very sophisticated device. It has a lot of technology in it. It has a lot of abilities. It's extremely adaptable, and so at the moment it kind of commands a high price point. And especially if we get things like autism diagnosis, like proved for it, it's worth a lot of money to hospitals and things. And then I don't know, Julia.
Okay, sorry. Let me stop you right there. I wanted to go more in depth in this. So right now, your primary, because you mentioned a lot of channels, but is there a primary channel? Are like hospitals and people doing diagnosis for autism your primary customer at this point? Because it felt like it feels like you've done an amazing amount of work, but it also feels like you're really spread all over the place. And so I'm trying to figure out what's your focus. Can you identify something that's going to be your focus?
Yes, so thanks to the amazing work with Julia and the work we did on the course, looking at the channels and interviewing countless people, we've found the best first channel is large therapy centers.
Okay.
So that will be our initial target. We will use research centers and hospitals that are want the device to create the research publications that we need to give it credibility. But not only will they give it credibility, it will enable us to get a reimbursement insurance code in the US. And it's mandated in the US that something that's proven to have therapy effects for autism, insurance companies have to pay for it. So that will open it up to the parents through the insurance companies. Okay. So initially we'll go therapy centers because they're the ones that have large scale ones. We've already identified them. They're the ones that have the money to pay for it, get the research going, which is already going, it's already happening. Apply for the reimbursement code, and that will open up the parent segment.
Brilliant. Okay, Yoni, anything you want to ask?
Yeah, I've switched on audio only because French internet, you know. Beside that great presentation, I would have liked perhaps a demo of at least one feature, because you just show the ball like very quickly. Perhaps, yeah, showing one feature, how it's working. Also, I think for most of the pitch, you express yourself as an individual. Whereas I think it's better to express the we, to say we as a team, you know, to present the project as a team thing. Also, I completely agree with Spike. I think you did an amazing work in terms of market segmentation, research. Actually, I saw that you tested several prototypes, that you pinned down the ball thing, but before it was like doors and things like that. So really, congratulations for all your work. But indeed, it seemed to me like you were scattered around the place in terms of focus, the initial market. So this is very good that now you seem to have found the therapy center one. I have a friend who is actually doing research on autism, and he told me, he actually showed me a benchmark of all the stakeholders in this domain. And it's very impressive. I mean, you have hundreds of associations, therapy center, foundation. So this is very tricky to actually try to find, you know, the right venue to go. It seemed to me it's a very fragmented market, so we really need to be careful about where you want to go first. Also, obviously, your creation is for autistic children, but as end user, so it's for people who will use the ball. But perhaps more, you know, information about the customer who would pay for it. So now you said therapy center, but could it be, for example, later down the road, the parents, the therapists themselves? Do they have the money to actually acquire the ball? Because I seem to remember it was a price point of like $1,500. That's right. So it may be too expensive. Do you think you can lower the cost, or what is your strategy? You know.
Julia, do you want to answer that, or?
Well, I think we do agree with you. I mean, this is some of the issues that, or I would say a lot of the work that we've done is identified that the therapy market is indeed very scattered and fragmented in different countries. It operates differently. And so this is why what we've done is identify a global set of therapy centers that actually specialize in movement therapy as very much the target for the entry point to the market, along with the research hospitals, as Tammy said. We do see, though, the parents as maybe a later segment. I mean, if we really want to go for the one of the advantages of the ball is actually that we are able to continue the therapy both at home and with the school and in the hospitals. So there's a whole, let's say, congruence between the therapy of the child in these different points. So we would like to speak to the parents, but as Tammy indicated, the price point we are concerned about. We've considered that if we can get funding through the insurance companies, and we've spoken to people both in the US and in Europe about how you would do that, that then we could still hold that price point, because it would be the health insurers that would actually be subsidizing the device.
Okay. So one last tiny question, very short answer, please, but it may be actually tricky. But in a lot of startup competition and pitch contest, you will have questions from investor about the initial spark, the reason why you are doing this. So can we have some element of answer about the birth history? What has motivated you actually to create this? It can be personal, so it may be tricky, but yeah, some people, they like to know the story, the human story behind a project.
So Q-Ball came about because I was a single parent raising a typically developing child, but completely alone. And he was a typically developing child, but he was very challenging. I did a computer science degree with a specialism in artificial intelligence, and somebody came and said there was a PhD to develop devices for children with autism. So I did it. I did it because I was even just thinking about the parents, because I was thinking, if I'm finding it so hard to bring up a typically developing child, imagine if you had a child with autism. So if I could even give some mum, 30 minutes kind of like relief, I would have done something good in the world.
That's a nice answer. You should include this answer within your pitch as a team.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so that was it. I wanted to do some good to help.
All right, I think it's a great note to end it on. Thank you so much again, and all the best at this. And then can we switch to the next team, please?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Carlos. I'm not going to feed the video, just the presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Please go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Carlos, and I'm here representing the Mosaic XL team. Victoria and Matej are also here with us. We are living a big transformation. Wherever we look, there's information, and we live surrounded by information. For a long time, this information was static, so we printed it. Newspapers, banners, outdoor signs. But now information is dynamic. It changes fast and often. Printing things is a waste of time and money. We already carry display with us, but the ability to convey information in small displays is limited. In fact, while our computers have been shrinking, the demand to show all this information is growing. And our eyes can see a lot of things at once. But for this to work, the displays have to be big to cover our field of vision. What if we could have displays everywhere? What if we could just print any information so it was visible and part of the environment where we live? Big companies already use big video wall displays to substitute and to improve upon printed signs. In monitoring centers, for example, entire walls are covered with displays to monitor traffic, security, and communication systems. In stadiums, display walls allow the supporters to watch replays, close-ups, and other news. There's also a scene from Back to the Future where Marty McFly... Oh, sorry, the presentation is not playing to you guys? I'm not listening. I don't know. What
I thought you meant you were just gonna speak with no presentation.
No, I had the presentation with all the pictures.
All right. Well,
That's
you skip. You got a few minutes left.
Yeah. Let me try to do that. Let me share the. just forgot that. It's a shame. Sorry.
That's okay.
Are you seeing the scene from Back
we're
to the
seeing it
Future?
now.
Yeah. There's a scene from Back to the Future where Marty McFly is watching several TV channels at once. There's also a nice outdoor scene out of the window. That's a TV also. We already have the technology to make it work. So why aren't we using this technology everywhere now? The answer is that the video walls are too expensive and cumbersome for small companies and even high-scale homes to adopt. The existing offers are geared to big companies with big budgets and which can pay specialized teams to plan, install, and operate the system. Mosaic XL solves this problem by using better technology to make the user life easier. We can offer a system that is at least 30% cheaper and does not require as much specialized work to plan and install. We tackle the multiple problems to offer an integrated system that just works. We also designed an augmented reality app that makes planning and configuration much easier than ever before. Anyone can just see how the video will look before buying. We also made installation simpler by using wireless streaming and removing the need for HDMI cables. We're also developing an intuitive remote control app that makes the operation of the system a snap for most users. Mosaic XL also enables better control of content streaming from our web platform. The opportunity for Mosaic XL is huge. If we take into account just the digital signage market, we're talking about a $20 billion market in 2019. In our first year of operation, Mosaic XL can grab a $20 million revenue in Latin America alone before growing to other regions. We believe that this is just the beginning. As technology evolves, digital signage will slowly merge with the conventional TV market, opening an even bigger market opportunity. There are a lot of players in this market, but due to the way the market is structured, there's a space for a classic disruptive move. Introduce a product that is good enough for simpler applications and then move up the chain. We want to make big displays affordable and easy to use for everyone. Our goal is to bring visual information everywhere. That's the future, and that's where we want to be. Hi.
Cool. You
Sorry,
actually,
guys.
that's cool. That's cool.
Sorry, we missed half of the pictures.
That's okay. You know, you finished 13 seconds before your 5 minutes mark, so that's good.
Yeah. I had to hush a little bit, and I'm going to just leave this big display of information for you guys to see.
All right, Yoni, would you like to go first this time?
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, without the pictures for the first talk, it was a bit cumbersome. I have some feedback on my voice.
Okay.
Can you perhaps mute yourself, Carlos? Yeah, thanks you. I would like more details about the digital signage itself. Many people, they don't know what is it about. I mean, they use it, they see it in the day-to-day life, but you have actually several kinds of digital signage. You have one used for Wi-Fi finding in the metro. You have placemaking, exhibition, public installation, advertisement. So, try to be more precise potentially on what you want to do. I mean, it's a technology for every kind of digital signage in the world, or it's only for a specific segment? So this is my first question, and it's also a remark. Also, I think with the advent of augmented reality, I don't know if you saw, for example, HoloLens from Microsoft and other technologies, we may have in the foreseeable future overlay, on top of the reality. So do you think there's still a need for, in the mid to long term, for physical and tangible signage, digital signage? And potentially, I mean, try to put more on the emphasis on the difference between the existing solution and your proposition. What are the core difference? Because I seem to remember from your demo deck that your price point is like $2,000, I think. It's using multiple panels. So it's actually what the competitors are doing also. So what is your strength? I think it's the DIY, the arbitrary side, the open protocols versus proprietary system. Try to put more emphasis on the different, the key added value compared to the existing solution. Carlos, are you here?
Carlos, you want to take the questions? You're muted.
Yeah, for example, the question about the difference with the competition.
Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. The market. There are two big markets. One is the TV market, and the other one is the digital signage. Digital signage is a very complex application. There's a lot of requirements for the digital signage, and it covers several markets. At some point, the TV market is trying to grow and it's very difficult for the TV market now to grow. They tried the 3D TVs, they are trying the higher resolution TVs, but physics is a limitation. You can't just keep growing the TV on your side because production yield lowers, the weight is much heavier, there is a lot of problems, bandwidth, a lot of problems trying to make a single big screen. So I believe that's our company. We believe that the market is going to require bigger and bigger TV sets, but that are easier to deploy and use. The digital signage is a professional application, and they also need a less expensive and easier system. So we had these two markets, and we decided, based on the research that Matej also did, to go after the low end of the digital signage market first. So if we go after the low end of the digital signage market and allow companies to do some kind of less expensive or do-it-yourself installation, this is going to open new markets for something that is today dominated by big companies that do the entire process. If you look at the cost of a single screen for a digital signage system, it's at least twice the cost of a TV, a conventional TV, and it's basically the same hardware. There is not a big difference between the two things in terms of hardware. That's a personal experience. I used it to run a telecommunication business, and we had to deploy a monitoring center a few years ago, and it was a very, very big difference in price, and we ended up rolling our own. We built the video wall. That's the experience that allowed me to suggest this project, and then the team did the research, and we think that the digital signage market is the best opening, but it's not the entire market. As for HoloLens and stuff like that, virtual reality and augmented reality are big trends, but I think people still want to see things with their eyes. So if you are out walking down the street or inside your company, you're not going to be wearing augmented reality glass like the HoloLens all the time. You are going probably to just walk down with your eyes, and you want to see things, and you want to live. The information is part of your life. Even for decoration, for example, if that's an expensive enough, we can see one day where we can have displays for decoration in our homes, in the office.
Let me jump in there in a second, Yoni. Hopefully you don't mind. Then I want to hand it over to Paulo. I want to stay on time. Can you? I hear you, and I think Yoni has asked a very good question, and I haven't quite heard an answer. So, I mean, you're talking about display signage. So you're basically saying that today you can go to a small company that is in the business of display signage and tell them, I will empower you to double your revenue by adding twice as many TVs and ads around the city, around I don't know what, and you will be able to do it because of our technology, and today you can't. Is that what you're saying? And have you done that? Have you talked to anybody and they told you the biggest issue that we have as a digital ad signage company is that big TVs are too expensive. Carlos? We lost Carlos. Can you guys still hear me? Everybody else that is online? Yeah, I see. Okay, so I guess we lost Carlos. Matej or Victoria, can you take this question for Carlos? Have you guys talked to customers, and so can you speak to the point that Carlos was making? That
yes.
Okay,
yes.
cool. Thank you, Matej.
Hi. Well, I covered primarily markets in, let's say, in UK and Eastern Europe because I am from this region. So Carlos did own research on his markets. Yeah, we spoke. First, primarily, we will not offer, let's say, solutions or to put marketing or ads through our network. First of all, we want to enable the technology. So you have, I don't know, a company or even a pub, for example, because from my experience, I own some pubs. Actually, my family, it's a family-owned business. So I spoke with the managers.
Sorry, just to let you guys know, the power is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I will just. Yeah, I will just finish. So primarily, we want to enable the technology, not our network. I don't know, to push ads through. So primarily, our technology will enable you to decrease the cost of installation, and this is I will say, the core of our solution. We are not building.
Who's you? Yeah. You say it will help you lower the cost. Who's you? Who am I? Am I a digital ad company? Who am I? A pub owner?
We are a hardware company. Yeah, and our hardware company will enable, I don't know, pub owners, big enterprises, retail services. Yeah.
Matej,
yeah.
I think I can help with that. I managed to go back with my cell phone.
Okay, so will you continue or should I continue? Or?
Yeah. Hi. We are a hardware company, and we can sell the solution two ways. We can do online sales for individuals and small companies that can deploy their own, and we can after go through the channels to the companies that install digital signage systems. So both strategies are possible, and at this point, we are not sure what is the best strategy to enter the market. But it should be possible to go after both, going after one of them first, but it's not impossible to manage both because we are like Sony or Samsung. You are just the supplier of the hardware. So we can try both.
Okay. Paula, do you have any remarks?
Yeah. After all the great comments from Yanni and Spike, let me move on to the pitch itself. The first point that I noticed is that the actual important part of the pitch was nearly the middle. Once Carlos started talking about building big screens and Back to the Future, the beginning didn't tell me what you guys were doing. It was like a description of what's going on in the world that didn't relate, that didn't communicate what you were doing. Once you start a pitch on these competitions, you want to start right away with very explicitly what you are doing, why you are doing it, what you are solving. So it catch the attention of whoever is listening, and then it drives the focus from there, and you can go much faster on what is important. The second aspect on the pitch is that once I hear Back to the Future, all these big screens with information and so on, what I think about is big screens at my home. I didn't think about digital signage. So the pitch was not focused on digital signage. that you guys are going after. So if you really want to sell digital signage, the pitch needs to focus on that.
Hi.
Why there? Yeah.
Oh, in fact, at the beginning of the project, we
Sorry, and
intended to.
just one sec, very quickly. We're already over time, so you have take a minute, please. But then let's wrap it up in a minute.
Okay. At the beginning of the project, we intended to sell the product direct to customers, and the digital signage market came later. And we saw that this digital signage market was a great opportunity for a different kind of sales. So you're right, we need probably to figure out a better way to address this, because the technology can serve two different kinds of customers. About the start of the presentation, there is a problem. Many people don't know the digital signage. We couldn't assume that you guys knew about that market. So we think that we need to talk a little bit more about the reason why we think displays need to be everywhere. That's something that we're trying to sell. That's part of the idea, to show that there is a big opportunity for displays everywhere.
Yeah, but you need to start by saying, okay, here it goes. We are building digital displays for digital signage, and there is a big market. They are everywhere, and there is a need for big displays that are cheaper. And you already set up all the expectation of what you are doing, and now you are going to elaborate and support that. Okay, I think we are out of time.
Yeah, thank you, Paolo. Thank you, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, Victoria. Bye, Matheus.
Thanks. Sorry for the power problem.
That's okay. No problem. Good recovery. Bye. All right. Next team up. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, I'm Alex from the Smart Water team.
Hello, Alex.
And I'm Pradeep from the Smart Water team.
Hello, I'm Gökhan from Smart Water Meter.
Hello, guys. All right.
Hi.
Who's going to present?
Alex is going to
try to do that.
Okay. Go ahead, Alex. Thank you.
Bear with me, though, because I have 3 screens, and I'm not sure which one I should send it to. I think it's this one.
Yeah, we can see the presentation. All right, go ahead. 5 minutes.
Hold on a sec. Can you still see it?
Yeah, not the presentation.
Yeah,
no,
so I think you'll need to full screen this presentation, Alex.
Now?
Nope.
No.
I did swap displays.
Yeah.
Strange. Okay, hold on a sec.
Yeah, we can see it now.
Alex, you probably need to swap displays to show the full screen. Are you playing
There's no swap displays because I'm not in slideshow mode. Now I am.
Okay.
But now you see.
Now I see your desktop and not your presentation.
Okay, so I've got the wrong screen. Excuse me about that. I need to stop screen sharing. What do you see now?
Just you right now. And a nice home lab. Looks like it.
Okay.
Need to get me one of those.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going up here.
Okay, well, go with the window thing because we need to.
Let's see what we can do here. Let me see if I can share.
We need to get.
This is my last chance.
Okay, that looks good. Now I see full screen. All right, let's get going, guys.
Great. Okay. So, Smart Water Meter is a solution that allows you to follow the water flow of your household or business in real time. It provides you actionable insights and reports on your water consumption, helping users to save water and reduce costs.
All right, so let's talk about the problem that we're trying to solve here, right? It's the dangerous misuse of our most valuable resource, which is water. So California today is facing an unprecedented drought condition, and we've been asked to order to essentially restrict our water usage. So how can someone reduce our water consumption simply and effectively without visibility on where the water goes? So today, your typical water utility company uses 19th century technology, which means that it's manually reading the water meter by visiting the premises every 2 to 6 months. So while water meter technology has progressed a lot, the utilities have little or no incentive to upgrade today.
Let's talk about the smart meter solution. Our solution consists of a connected water flow meter that translates water flow into data. This data then flows to the cloud via our gateway. You can access the analyzed data in the form of a personalized actionable insights, greatly increasing visibility on water consumption. You can get alerted for possible leaks and renew the shut of water supply. You never have to worry about batteries again. We produce our own power through the flow of water itself.
Okay, so now let's talk about the key benefits of smart water meter. With USA having the highest consumption per capita in the world of about 150 gallons per person per day, our solution reduces your environmental footprint and helps save the planet. It pays for itself as you save money by reducing your bill. It can identify single point flows and identify exactly where you should pay attention first in order to reduce your consumption. It can explain how your consumption compares to your neighbors in the same city, the same state, the same country, the same planet. It can integrate with third parties such as smart irrigation systems and agrotech systems, as well as IFTTT, for people who know what that is. And it generates valuable data for water utilities, local districts, statistical authorities, the World Bank, scientists.
So what is our market opportunity here? By 2020, we expect the global investments in smart water technologies to equal $16.3 billion. So today that translates to $4.2 billion invested in smart water meters. Our initial target is going to be California, where state regulations today mandate 25% water restrictions. So our serviceable market is 13 million households in California, out of a total of 123 million US households. Our target market is going to be 11% of the California households, or 1.5 million smart water meters, which is a projected revenue of $200 million.
Let's talk about our revenue model. Our primary customer is anyone who pays the water bill. This includes homeowners, apartment and condo managers, and property management companies. Revenue is generated through the sale of smart water meter hardware, as well as subscription services and data sales. Expected margins are 45% on the hardware and 80% on software services.
So let's talk now about our strategy. In order to grow further, we will target the rest of the US and the world. We will introduce gas and electricity sensor add-ons. We will integrate with home automation and IoT hub solution providers. We will partner with smart irrigation and agrotech providers, as well as utilities, NGOs, governments, appliance manufacturers, and insurance companies.
So our investment needs to get there. All our estimates are based on prototype costs. So in the next 3 months, we expect to have completed 5 hardware prototypes. And we're seeking a seed investment round of $150K. 30% of that is going to be needed to develop and complete our MVP prototype, and the remaining 70% of that will be used to plan and execute our first production batch of 600 units.
And here is our team.
We're done.
Just, yeah, and it's exhausting.
As in, we didn't have more time.
No, you just hit my timer just went off the second to finish. So
Perfect.
very well done. Yeah, very good presentation.
Yeah.
Paulo, do you want to start this time? Or Yoni?
Yeah, I
Paulo,
can go ahead. I will go ahead then. I like the fact that you are explaining why you are choosing California as a market because of the regulation. Because I have one reservation about the concept in itself, that in many countries, like in Europe, in France, for instance, water is extremely cheap. So basically, most of the people, they simply don't care about their consumption that much. Besides the people who are ecologists, who go green, I mean, most of the people here, they don't care about their water consumption. So if you have some information about, you know, how to entice people to actually be more responsible in their water use.
Yeah, so I think water is, as you said, water is a global problem, but unlike energy, which sort of gets transported across from region to region, water is typically a local resource. So which means that, you know, there are places in the world where, you know, you have lots of floods and water issues, you know, because of excess water, but for the most part, there's a huge part of the world which has a drought problem and dropping water tables. So those are the areas that we are, you know, planning to target, and that's a significant part of the world's population today. So, which is why, you know, California is one of those regions which, in the past, has not seen, you know, water as a major problem. Like you said, you know, people typically thought of water as something cheap, and they don't think of it as a precious resource similar to energy.
Yeah.
But if you look at Brazil, where one of our other team members is, and I've talked to, you know, various other folks in other parts of the world, and this is a problem in just not just California, but in various places.
Mm-hmm. A second point, I think Polo and Spike will delve perhaps in the speech in itself, but I have some recommendation about your concept is potentially to apply the principle of social physics. I don't know if you know them. Social physics. So it's like how to incentivize people to consume more responsibly through peer pressure, for example, by comparing them with their neighbors, and all this kind of mechanism.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So today, you know, as I mentioned earlier on, water is measured by the utility companies every 2 months or every 6 months, depending on, you know, which part of the state or region you live in. And people don't have visibility into how they're consuming water. So if you can bring that visibility in the form of analytics that is easy to understand, where you get a sense of, you know, am I using, you know, 20% more water compared to all of my neighbors? You know, how am I doing compared to the rest of the city, and how am I doing with the rest of the state? Then it gives me an incentive, you know, a moral obligation to say, you know, keep me in track. And this has proven to be true for electricity and for various other resources. So the whole analytics, along with the social aspect of it, where you are compared with, you know, with others, and also comparing against yourself, so you can set some goals and say, you know, compare, because today California does require you to use 25% less water compared to 2013. So how do you do that? You need to have some data in order to say, okay, now compared to, you know, November of last year or November the year before, how am I progressing? So the reality is, people have the technology today to track how many steps you've taken when they, you know, walk around, and how many miles you've biked, but you have no idea how many, you know, gallons of water you used in the last day or even in the last month.
Okay, last tiny remark. As you may be aware, most of the consumption of water and the waste of water is not from individuals, it's from agriculture and so also from industry. So is your technology applicable to this kind of field? Or
absolutely, absolutely. So that is part of our growth strategy. So our initial target is the consumer or the household sector. And part of this is, again, you know, we said, you know, we're going to launch the product in California, where there's a, you know, where there's a mandate to reduce water consumption by 25%. Unfortunately, this mandate or regulation only applies to households and not to the agricultural sector. So, which is why we are targeting the households first. But what we expect to see is, going forward, providing this technology to the agricultural sector as well. And California is the biggest agricultural state in the U.S. So even from an agriculture standpoint, this is the right market to launch. But the opportunity to grow outside of California is pretty huge.
Thanks.
Paulo, you want to go ahead?
Okay. The presentation was pretty good, and but I have 2 or 3 questions. The first one is, did you guys test with consumers? What was their feedback? Second question is, did you compare the response from consumers about the water device versus the gas device? And what about competitors?
So to address your first questions, did we talk to consumers? So we did talk to homeowners, apartment dwellers, as well as others in the business side segment as well. So as far as people's mind share in terms of water consumption goes, they don't have the same sense of consciousness as they do with energy today. But they, once you talk about it, they're completely aware that they don't know how much they paid for water in the last month and how much water they've consumed. So there is an interest in there. So one of the key, a couple of issues that we learned during the customer validation phase is in order to install a device which will give them that benefit, we have it requires some plumbing where you have to replace an existing water meter or install a new water meter in the plumbing. And so part of the customer validation led us to come up with two offerings. One is a clamp-on device which doesn't require plumbing, and a device that's in line with the benefit of being able to remotely shut off water. So that will incentivize them to actually take the step of installing the device. So that's to answer your first question. And your second question was, can you repeat that for me? I know one of your questions was on competition.
Yeah, second one is you guys mentioned about a gas device.
No.
And
No.
Yeah, this is just for future.
Water, but in terms of expansion going forward into the future, we have the sensor device for water, and we have a hub which we plan to make it as the central hub, and also allow for monitoring other utilities in the home, because this is the technology is applicable to not just water but to other utilities as well.
Okay, and why did you choose water instead of gas? Is because the drought that is going in California?
Absolutely, it's just the amount of attention water has gained in the recent past, not in California and certain other parts of the world, and the lack of innovation in terms of technology from the utility companies. So I did talk to the local utility companies. I reside here in California, and they are not incentivized in terms of adopting technology or providing means for consumers to save water the way they are structured. So they draw their revenue from providing the infrastructure for supplying water. So although they will provide some information on how to conserve water, from a business standpoint, it doesn't really matter to them whether customers save water or not.
Okay. Competitors?
And yeah, so in terms of competitors,
there's actually a surging drought. Yeah, there's a
so
slide.
Maybe Alex can put the slide on competitors. So there are numerous companies from various parts of the world who are attacking this market. A good chunk of them are startups who are yet to establish themselves. So they're in a similar phase, maybe. They have prototypes or engaging with in their local region, and there are also existing players who have traditionally provided the analog water meters who are trying to provide smart water meters as well. But I think our biggest competition really is the existing legacy infrastructure, and trying to get utility companies to change. But from a practical standpoint, this is a big opportunity because the costs of hardware, the cost of IoT technology, and the infrastructure for providing cloud-based analytics has come down. That has really opened up this opportunity today compared to 5 or even 10 years ago.
So what is your key advantage compared to the competitors?
Okay, so compared to the competitors, one of our key advantage is the remote shut-off capability. So today I haven't seen that. So some of the existing water meter companies who provided analog water meters, so now are also selling digital water meters with connectivity to the utility companies. But if you're targeting end customers directly, it becomes difficult to convince them why they should, call a plumber and install something different. And providing them with a mechanism to remotely shut off water is a key advantage. And interestingly, once we started this project, one of the mails that I got from the water company, my local water utility company, about 2 weeks ago, was a letter that said that you're responsible for any leaks in your piping after the main water meter. And in order for you to, and you're not insured for that yet, so subscribe, sign up for our insurance plan, which is about $5 a month. So which means that today the only option the customer has is to sign up for this $5 a month insurance plan. But if they're away and there's a leak, they don't really find out about it until the damage is done. And this $5 insurance only covers the repair of the pipe and not any other property damage as a result of that. So
okay.
providing them
Guys,
with
sorry, we're over time. I'm gonna cut you off there. And,
all right.
I just want to ask one question, and I'll give you 1 minute.
Sure.
I actually happen to help other companies. Another company that does smart water meters, and the biggest struggle that they have, and that I would like to hear about what you think, is adoption rates, because the utility companies don't actually care. It doesn't make them more money to switch to these systems, and so they have no incentives. And you said this yourself. And
That's
for
right.
consumers, it's quite a bit of a hurdle. Even conscientious people, really, when it comes down a lot of cost to replace their piping or change something in their piping, are probably going to say no. So what's your strategy to overcome that issue? How are you going to get this product adopted?
Okay, so the strategy there is to focus on the folks who are paying for water and show them a cost advantage. And one of the customer who cares about this a lot is your apartment manager or condo manager. Because the units are not individually watered, people are very liberal in their water usage. But that adds up to costs for the management. So if you want to curb the costs over there, target them and show them how many, that you can save 15 to 20% of your water costs by making sure that you're able to monitor your individual condo or apartment dweller water usage.
Okay, it's an interesting point. All right, thank you so much for all your work, and congratulations again. Great presentation. All right.
Yeah.
Take care. All right, parking share. You guys are up.
Hi.
Tell me when you're ready. You have 5 minutes, like everybody else, for your presentation, and I will cut you off at the end of those 5 minutes. You ready to go?
Hello. Can you see my presentation?
Yep, I can. Good, loud and clear. You ready to go?
Yes. Okay. 3,
Good.
2, 1. Hi everyone. We are Parking Share, a team of 7 representing different countries from all around the world. Firstly, we would like to say thank you for the core staff and for our classmates that you created such a wonderful opportunity to participate in this Google Hangout session. I would like to ask you one question. How many of you have a car park? How many of you find it difficult to find a car park? There are so many cars hanging around all over the world every day. Only few of those are lucky to find a car park and to be satisfied for the result. Considering this, we identified that there are some problems with parkings all over the world. The first problem is that most commercial parkings are full, while personal parkings are available, so that means inefficiency. In most cities, parking are too expensive, especially in downtowns. We also find that there is such a great opportunity for those people who already has their own parking lot, and they go to their job for every day, and their parking lot is tenant every day. We came to a solution that is an online platform where users can rent out their vacant parking space to other drivers. In fact, the potential parkers can save money and time. People who already have a parking spaces can make some additional money every month. And we think we are helping the society to increase efficiency in using the resources. Our service model is so simple. Just in 3 steps, you can park your car. Just search for the place you want, book it, and park. We already created a prototype, and the prototype was shown for more than 50 people from all around the world. We did face-to-face customer interviews. We also sent some surveys, and we were impressed about the results that 85% people said, yes, I would like to use the service. Some of them already is listed into our first potential customers lists. We also made our market estimation. There are some countries that we believe we can start in. As example, in China, their total available market is so potential, and we decided to start here because this is the most attractive market, and this is and the competition maybe is lower than in other countries. So talking about our business model, we take just 10% commission of each transaction. That means if we take 10% of our market, we can make more than $13 million in revenue with our parking share project. And what we have, our strongest side is that we really believe in our product. We really believe in our idea and service. So we will launch it at any cost. We also have a local persistence in our team because three of us is currently located in China. That will be easier to start. And for the last thing, we also have a great magic purpose. As you know, most of successful companies have their magic purposes. So our magic purpose is to optimize the resources through collaborative consumption, that people will spend less time in finding a car parks, what costs fuel and money. It will also have less impact on the environment. As example, we can save some playgrounds for children instead of creating a new parking spots. And it also will reduce traffic jams because there will be less cars parked on the streets. So that's why I believe in our product. Thank you.
Cool, thank you very much. Perfect timing. All right.
Wow. Hello, Spike. It's Rashidul here.
Okay.
Teammates of Parking Share. As I see, 3 of us could manage to join today.
Yeah.
And others couldn't make it. We were hoping they would, but because of the timing, you know, we're all in different parts of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you know, would like to face your questions.
Sure.
We didn't questions more than the answers, you know.
Paul, would you like to start this time?
Sure. Hi. Okay. The presentation was pretty good. Okay. I have a couple of questions. First, on team side, do you have the right people to run the project? Do you have business people, technical people?
Yeah, we do have the basic team that we can manage. So far, we're confident about managing it till around 70%, but we need few more core technical person to do the programming and other stuff. But for the other purposes, overall management of the business, we have, I think our team is sufficiently good enough.
Sorry, just to be clear, does it mean you have coders today or not? Can you
We don't
develop different at all?
Yeah, we do have a coder, but still need more hands.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That should be on the slides. That you have the team to build the prototype and start the project. Second side, competitors. You guys said that the competitors in China are fewer, but who are the competitors, and what is your differentiation? What makes users? What is going to make users want to pick you up rather than your competitors?
Okay, I'll answer this question. Hello, hi, this is Shu Xin, and we do have a few competitors in China, but they are mostly focusing on commercial parking space. None of them has started to focus on the P2P concept yet, so that would be our advantage. I mean, you know, so we are the only one who would focus on this area.
Okay.
The sharing economy concept is relatively new in the entire world, and for China, it's even even it's more alien. So since our service model is more like a sharing economy model, so we believe we can be some sort of pioneer in the market. We do have competitors who are well established in other parts of the world. We think they might be our competitor than any player in China because they are well established. They know they have the technical, they have the experience. They have venture capitalists backing. If they want to expand into China, they are going to be our competitors, not some homegrown competitors as of yet. So our radar is yet to catch any homegrown competitors so far.
Well, usually it has been quite difficult for Western companies to get into the Chinese market.
It is.
Yeah. So okay, looking okay. If the competitors are commercial operations that exist, did you guys look for locations, areas where there are few commercial operations and that would need additional parking space? Because those would be areas where there would be demand without a solution yet. And could you guys solve that one?
Sushin, would you like to answer that?
Sorry, Paulo, my connection was bad. Could you repeat the question?
Okay, sure. You guys said that most competitors are commercial operations. If they are your competitors, have you guys look at locations where there are no commercial offerings, but there is high demand for parking, and that you could solve with the P2P solution?
Yes, there are some places that will be like second-tier cities in China, because most of our few competitors are mostly focusing in big cities like Beijing and Shanghai and Guangzhou. So as far as I know, there are not many in second-tier cities. But also I think the demand there is not as strong. So we are thinking right now to solve the very tense gap between demand and supply. It's better to start in Beijing and Shanghai, all these big cities.
Okay. Okay. Another question. I was following your team, and one of the things that I never got clear was the technology side. You guys mentioned that you need QR codes and maybe set up devices in buildings. can you guys start without all that?
Not at the very start, probably, because all these hardwares would require a lot of funding. So we are thinking about to start with a minimum viable solution. Like maybe at the very start, we will ask the customer to manually update the availability, and as soon as we get the market going and get some revenue or get some funds, and then we will start to work on the hardware solution, like RFID or some prox card or some automatic license plate recognition. We'll look into all these techniques to automatically detect the availability of the parking space. And we're thinking to offer it as an add-on service to the customer. Whoever don't want to manually update the availability can choose this add-on service.
But there are two different things. One is availability of parking. You can assume that the person left at the moment that they go to the phone and say I left.
Yeah.
And at that point you guys charge. Now that is the second issue, is access to the parking lot and the technology to do that. Do you always need to have a device to get into the parking lot, or can a customer get into the parking lot, for instance, because there is no gate to the parking lot, and he just needs to be told where the parking lot is?
Well, there are both cases. Most cases will be there will be some access system control in the parking lot. Usually, most parking space in China is with a barrier gate, and you would need a car to access it. For that, we would at the very start manually like ask the owner to transfer the car to the tenant, and then later we can work with the parking space and to have an interface with their system to grant automatic access to the parking space.
Okay, okay. One thing that is hard is to ask people to change their behaviors or install equipment to do something. So if to start is much easier if they don't have to make any changes. What is if you look at what is the share of market for those where there is no need to go and insert a card or change how the device works? Basically, the parkings where there is no barrier, would that market size be enough to start? Because that's the low-hanging fruit. It's nothing to do. You just need an app. You just need a website, and it's running.
Yes, I think there will be like 10 to 20% of those like street parking, basically street parking space. All the other type will be underground parking space with a barrier gate, but still the owner can manually transfer the car to the tenant.
Yeah, but that will only work for long-term parking, not for short-term parking. Like I want to park for 1 hour, or I want to park for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, can we hand over to Yoni? Sorry, we're running against time, Paul. They're all
That's
very
fine.
good questions. Yoni, up to you.
Nice presentation, guys. A few quick comments and a few questions for quick answer, please. So, to add on Paulo's comment, I seem to remember in the US you had some existing solution like Just Park and Parklet. So you will need to study how it's done actually in other countries, because you have already existing peer-to-peer solution. Also, I quite like the use of persona that you implemented in your slide deck with Matt and Oliver, but I don't quite understand why Oliver is worried about having an unused parking slot. I think basically a lot of people, they are wasting their slot without being worried about it, Myself, for example, I left it unoccupied, and I prefer to have the flexibility of being able to park my car whenever I want, without having to manage someone who may use it and who may actually spoil it with oil leaks, you know. So how do you entice people to actually, you know, change their behavior about that? And last any question, you know, in the sharing economy, you have a lot of issues nowadays with regulation. And I can see that you will have a lot of regulation issues, especially with city town halls and things like that about parking. So do you have some kind of strategy to confront them? And last any point, I think Chunyan, a student from the course, suggested you to do some partnership with the insurance company. So if you have some information about that. So 3 points, how to entice me to use your application. The second, the regulation, and third, the safety concern and the partnership with insurance. Thanks.
Okay, Yoni, hi Yoni. For the first question, yeah, it's true that quite often it's not exactly a problem for the owners that the parking space is free or vacant. But we're going to sell the idea and pitch to them and make them realize that it is a, you know, a opportunity cost. You know, it's a sunk cost, a big sunk cost to them because they are paying a lot for the parking space, and yet 50% of the time it's sitting vacant, and they are still paying for that part. So that's on our marketing. We will pitch the idea to people and make them aware of the cost. So we'll have more incentive to join our business service.
Okay, nice.
Let me ask one question. Let me ask one quick question there. Just follow up. You mentioned that you asked and you talked to a bunch of users. You had a bunch of faces and people you showed your app. Where's this all in China? Because my understanding is that if I have the money to afford to buy a parking lot, a parking space, I don't care about wasting that money because probably I'm wealthy enough that saving that 50% of the cost isn't really that enticing. So have you tested with people in Beijing, Shanghai?
Well, some of them, like you said, are lacking the incentive to join because they think the profit is not high enough. But there are also some that are welcoming our ideas because, like, if they rent an apartment and it comes with a car park, so they would like to make money out of it instead of just having it sitting vacant. So we will maybe not all parking space owners will join us, but there are certainly some, and I guess at least 30% would like to join us from our survey, the percentage.
Okay, thank you. Please go back to Johanna's question. Thanks.
Okay, the second question is about regulations, right?
Regulation, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so far the regulations of the parking only applies to all those commercial parking lots. Like the government is controlling the price and blah blah, but none of them is applying to the personal parking space yet. I mean, because it's personal behavior. If someone decide to rent it out, there is no price control on that. Or the mainly regulation concern would come from the building management office. But that we will work on. We'll make them as our partner. So we are planning to work with them, like to maybe to share part of our profit with them.
Okay.
To have them join us.
Nice, thanks.
Overall, we're going to promote the collaborative consumption model so that it benefits everyone. You know, we are contributing towards traffic, traffic problem solution. Then people are saving, and it's also, we all know traffic, is a very huge burden for most economies. If we can reduce the traffic jam thing, and it can contribute. Maybe we're also planning of partnering with the city government to enact some laws to promote services like ours, so that the resources are used optimally. So we're planning of all those, and we're planning of partnering with every stakeholder, or everyone possible, every organization possible, because it is something that will help everyone. It's not just the benefit is more for the stakeholders than for the company. So we're going to promote that, and hopefully people will join us. And even if the hassle, at any cost, people would love and welcome our service.
Okay, nice. Thanks for your answer, guys. So
Thank you,
it's concluding actually the Hangout session. Thanks everyone for your nice speech. It was a nice exercise, nice drill. I hope, we hope actually that you have learned something for your future endeavors in the entrepreneurial journey, in your incubator, accelerator, all this startup pitch and competition that you will do. And it was an amazing experience. And yeah, I mean, we really need to see you in the Technology Entrepreneurship Part 2. Okay, guys? We are building a real ecosystem with Spike, with Chuck, with Paulo, with many stakeholders in Stanford, in Novoed, and we have many things to come, many experiences that we want to do to, create more engagement and having more fun in the course and learn entrepreneurship and the mindset of entrepreneurship in a different way than typical old school courses. So stay tuned for a lot of good things.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Entrepreneurship and the mindset of entrepreneurship in a different way than Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. Tech issue. That's all right. That's a good note to conclude on. All right. Thank you again, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye bye.